Hi everyone, my name is Michelle and I'm the research coordinator here at the Bauta Initiative. This year, I'm going to be one of the facilitators for the CANOVI Carrot project. In previous years with the CANOVI Carrots, we focused our attention a lot on variety trialing, but after receiving feedback from growers on what they're interested in, we wanted to offer a new project that focused more on breeding. Because it's new, we are still establishing best practices, what works for growers, what works for us. So we wanted to work with a small group of growers so that we had an open line of communication where we could learn together and lean on each other quickly if there's anything that needs to be resolved directly in the field or as we learn more. In this video, I'm going to be going over the project overview and the protocol, and hopefully it will give you a general introduction to what this project is and it goes over the essential information you need for cultivating the carrots and prepping your roots for selections later in the season. So to give you a high-level overview of what the CANOVI carrot breeding work is, we basically aim to share high-quality carrot germplasm with you all so that you have a good starting foundation for any breeding work with these carrots that you're aiming to do. And with all the populations we're sharing with you, we hope that you can grow them out on farm and do any selections to meet the needs of your local environment, your local markets, or whatever your personal preferences are. All the lines that we're offering through this project have been stewarded by organizations that have been trying to breed carrots for organic and ecological systems, and they do a lot of work to maintain the health and diversity of these populations. Through all this cultivation and selection work, we hope that in the grand scheme of things, we're able to collaboratively support more domestic seed production for carrots in Canada. So for those of you who are able to facilitate carrot seed production for these roots on your farm, that's wonderful, and we'll do whatever we can to support you. For those who don't have that capacity on their farm, we'll be able to facilitate that seed production at our collaborator site at the University of British Columbia, or UBC, so that we can support you in producing seed from your selections. And if we look at this diagram on the right here, it kind of just goes over the different aspects of the breeding cycle. In this project, this orange circle just popped up, where everything in the orange circle is kind of where we are. So we're, defining who's interested, understanding what kind of breeding priorities we need, growing them out and doing selection, and then collecting that seed and then repeating that process all over again. So that's kind of the scope of this project. So through this work, we're going to be offering two types of populations that you could be working with. So one is the orange, which has 3 populations within it, and then the other is the multicolored, which has 2 populations in it. You could have signed up for one or both, depending on what you worked out with your regional coordinator. But if you want more information about the breeding history of any of these populations, that is available in the carrot protocol we're going to be sharing with you. So depending on the color carrots you signed up to work with, there are different breeding and selection priorities that we ask you to keep in mind when doing selection on your carrots. So with the orange carrots, the orange carrot work is actually a continuation of an existing project where the CANOVI project has been trying to breed an orange carrot that is tasty, has a non-shape, is deep orange, has good storability, and grows well for root and seed production. We're continually trying to improve that population that we've been working on. And so we wanted to bring growers into the process to add some diversity to that existing population. So if you're working with the orange carrots, you'll be selecting for the same traits that the CANOVI Orange project has been doing in the past. Comparatively, if you're working with a multicolored carrot population, there are no strict guidelines on what kind of traits you have to select for. It's completely up to you on what you want to select for. The only thing that we ask is that you have good record keeping practices and make note somewhere of what traits you're selecting for in your roots, and then that you share that information with us on what you are prioritizing. So in terms of seed production, we're offering different options to growers depending on what their capacities are. For individual seed production, this involves the grower doing everything independently. You'll be doing the on-farm storage, root storage, and seed production all yourself and on your farm. And the benefit to this is that you get to manage the populations however you want, so you don't have to pool it with anyone, and you get to learn and do everything yourself, which is great. But if you don't have the capacity to do everything yourself, we are also offering a communal seed production option where basically you would be doing the on-farm selections of the roots, but UBC would facilitate root storage and seed production for you. In the following season, if seed production is successful, we would then send the seeds back to you so you get to use the seeds that you made selections for. With the communal seed production option, we are managing the populations differently because multiple growers will be sending populations. So with the orange population, we'll be pooling all the roots that are sent to UBC together to support the CANOVI orange carrot goals. Versus with the multicolored carrots, we'll be pooling roots that are sent to UBC into east and west populations. There are some growers who have shown interest in doing both individual and communal selection. So the benefit to that is that you'll be able to do some population management on your farm however you'd like, but then you'd also be able to contribute some roots to the communal selection happening at UBC. So to achieve the selection goals that we've laid out, we're going to be sending you seeds in the mail of all the populations you signed up with. And the biggest priority that you should keep in mind when you're deciding on how you're going to be growing your carrots and where you're going to be growing your carrots is that the carrots need to be grown in a way that will produce 1,000 mature roots for selection at the end of the season. 1,000 is kind of the sweet spot number where it's the minimum amount of roots that you'll need to see enough diversity in the population that you can easily select for what you want. But once you select down to a smaller amount of roots, you'll still have enough genetic diversity in that small subset to maintain the health of that breeding population. So for the orange carrots, we'll be sending out 1,800 seeds total, which equates to about 600 seeds per population. And to get that 1,000 roots, the recommended sowing and planting layout that we calculated was that you should plant at 28 row feet per population, sow at 21 seeds per foot, and then thin down to 12 seeds per foot. Comparatively, if you're working with the multicolored seeds, you'll also be getting 1,800 seeds, which equates to 900 seeds for the two populations. And for this one, we recommend sowing your seeds at 42 row feet of carrots at a sowing rate of 21 seeds per foot and then thinning down to 12 roots per foot. Just a disclaimer that this is a recommendation of the math that we worked out that might be practical on your farm, but you know your soil and your farm and climate the best. So feel free to adjust the spacing or layout as you need. Just try to prioritize that 1,000 root number. For growers who sign up to do both individual and communal seed production, we're going to be sending you an extra 300 seeds per population to support the extra root selections that you'll have to make. Just keep in mind that if you're going to be getting more seed, you may have to add a bit more row feet to how much seeds you're going to be growing out. As part of this trial as well, we're going to be asking you to do agronomic evaluations for the populations that you're working with. The main traits that we ask you to collect data on will be germination, vigor, canopy cover, yield, uniformity, marketability, flavor, and overall performance. Within the carrot protocol, there is a evaluation rubric that outlines the rating system for how to evaluate all these traits. So whenever in doubt, you can always use that rubric to make your judgments. To actually record this data, we have created printable data sheets that you can print out and bring into the field to do your evaluations as needed. Or if you want to work electronically, we are using SeedLinked, which is an app on your phone or computer, where we'll be inviting you to a trial where you can basically submit all your agronomic information electronically through this application. So when it comes to root selection guidelines, for those who are doing individual selections, we recommend that you overwinter at least 200 roots per color set. 200 roots is a good amount where you're selecting hard enough on your original populations to make gains in your selections, but also it's a good insurance number in case some of your roots don't make it over the winter. And from there, we recommend that you plant out at least 100 roots of each color set so that you can produce seed in the spring. For those who aren't able to do on-farm seed production, we ask that you mail to UBC 50 roots per color set, and then they will facilitate storage and seed production. As a reminder again, if you're sending in orange roots, that will be pooled with other growers to become one new improved CANOVI orange population. And if you're sending in multicolored roots, that's going to be pooled into east and west populations. For those who are doing both individual and communal root selections, we ask that you save at least 200 roots on farm for storage and then mail 50 roots to UBC. So that'll be 250 roots selected in general. So just to give you a timeline on where this project is now and where it's going, we are currently in the spring/summer 2024 phase where we're selecting germplasm and establishing breeding goals for different growers. We hope to plant out and do agronomic evaluation for these populations this summer, and then by the end of the season, do selection and vernalization to overwinter those roots. If all goes well, hopefully by next year, we'll be able to start seed production for the carrots that everyone grew out this year. And if those seeds grow, we'll be sending out that seed to repeat this process over again. Everything I mentioned within this video is available to read in the CANOVI Carrot Protocol. The protocol actually expands on a lot of the topics that I mentioned in this video and also has links to other video resources or external documents that can speak more to the cultivation and pest management and about agronomic evaluation of carrots. The protocol also has resources on root selection, root storage, and seed production for you to look through if you want to learn more. But we'll also be doing a video later in the season to speak more to the practicalities of doing that. We also want to disclaim that the root storage and seed production aspect of the protocol is being continually updated as we learn more. If you have any resources to share that on carrot seed production in your region or something you think would be useful to other growers, please reach out to us so that we can potentially add it to the protocol so that we can better support growers doing this work. If you have any questions, concerns, or need support in this work at all, please reach out to your regional coordinators. They're always happy to hear from you and help you with anything you need. If you also have any updates on your carrots that you want to share, we would love to see that too. So don't be shy throughout the season if you wanted to provide some updates on how your carrots are doing. As always, we want to thank you so much for participating and collaborating with us. None of this work could be done without you, and we're so excited to see how your carrots do this season. So yeah, happy growing and thanks for being here. Bye.